Hey everybody, this is Joe. I am here in Zone 9B and it's the first week of June, and I'm going to show you around the garden and show you what's looking really beautiful. The first thing are these daylilies. Look how amazing. I just love a daylily. And this beautiful nepeta, look how big that thing is. So pretty. Now we have had a ton of rain in the last week, and I'm afraid I won't get much more, but gosh, we've had a lot of rain and that has helped. This is fennel, and we grow that for eastern black swallowtail butterflies, but goodness, grow it for the flowers. Isn't that incredible? It won't make it through the heat of the summer like this. It will live, a lot of this will live through the summer. They have really big sort of bulbs. Look at this. It's not a bulb, but look at that. Huge. I mean, that's as big as my hand. And so those have generally made it through the summer and the winter, but these flowers will poop out and that'll be the end of it. And I've got this sweet little sunflower over here. It just volunteered in the gravel. I grew some little sunflowers last year, and they got twice as tall as this. But I like this one because it's a paler yellow. It's not a real deep yellow. And then, my goodness, look at this gomphrena in a pot. This is the prettiest gomphrena that I have, and it's amazing. And then back in the back is a bunch of just plain old sort of Genovese basil, and it's sort of bushy. I keep pinching it back and pinching it back so it won't get too floppy and fall over in this pot. And then these huge coneflowers are so pretty, and they're just, look how big that is. They're incredible, and they've looked this good. This one's starting to fade a little bit, see, but they've looked beautiful for a couple of weeks now. And then, oh my goodness, look how pretty. Look how pretty. Little daylilies. And actually these are big daylilies. They are a pale, pale yellow. I'm afraid it's awfully sunny and it might be hard to see what color they are. And they're about 3 feet tall. And I wish they would spread, but this is the best they've ever done. This is the best they've ever done. Now I've done a lot of cutting back. The height of the garden was really last week, maybe 10 days ago. And look at this combo of yellow and purple. That's black and blue salvia. So anyway, I'm starting to trim things back and cut things back. Nearly Wild is looking really pretty. It really liked all this rain. And this crazy thing, this is Mexican hat, and it is already gone crazy, but can you see all the new buds coming up off the top? Amazing. Finally, this coneflower has bloomed, and this one I think is called White Swan, and it's looking pretty good as well. Souvenir de Saint Anne is taking a little break. I have a couple of little flowers, a little bit ratty. And then I like this view. All the white back there is carrots. And the purple, which it needs to be trimmed back, is Salvia Mystic Spires. And then up here, which I grew this, and then I swear I got 0 flowers on this last year. And it just went crazy this year. This is threadleaf, I think, coreopsis. It's called Moonbeam. And again, I really like it because it has pale yellow flowers. Oh, here's a pretty Souvenir de Saint Anne. And an enormous weed. Oh my gosh. Weeding is not my strong suit. Here's where you can see the beginnings of my cutback. This is Peter's Purple Monarda, and you can see a teeny tiny bit still right there that was still blooming, but I chopped it back, and it will look terrible for the rest of the year. It is a one and done, but it does kind of creep, and so it's gotten bigger than I want, and so it's impinging on this Mystic Spires salvia. And so I will pull some of this out, get rid of it, and give this some room. And you can see the difference. I've got a, let's see if I can get back in here and give you a better look. Not really. See here, this is Verbena bonariensis. This one is leaning that way. This one that I have a support, I put it in the middle of the support, and it is standing much more upright. And I'm starting to trim that back as well. I kept seeing butterflies on it, and so I kept putting off trimming it. But all of that needs to be deadheaded, and I have not done that. Okay, I've gotten myself caught up in the rows here. And then look how cute. Okay, so I've got this wonderful hyacinth bean vine, which is gone to seed already. And then look at this little puff right here. This is Gulf vervain, which is a little native Texas verbena. And it is also in a little cage, like a little bird cage support. And it probably would have done better with even a taller one, but that's really helped it. And more cone flowers, which are pretty speckly. They definitely need to be deadheaded. And this is Rockwall sesquicentennial. And then I've got a ton of little baby milkweed with one blooming. Yay! And this is just a volunteer fennel plant. And so I've just left it. Hey, buddy. And then I'm gonna walk through the middle and show you the devastation I have wrought by cutting things back. Now here's more carrot. Isn't that fabulous? And oh my goodness, the grasses have really started. You can see a couple right there, but they're getting ready to bloom and they will be beautiful forever. All summer they will be pretty. This is Salvia leucantha, which did not yet. Last year it bloomed in the spring, and this year it did not. It really is a fall bloomer, mostly for me. And I have been pinching this back very regularly. See how I've pinched? I didn't do a very good job. Pinch the middle out so I can have 2 spikes instead of 1. See how I've done that? And I've tried to clip all in here and keep this bushy and small so it doesn't fall over. It does have a tendency to fall over everything. Now I've got such an empty space here. This usually flops over. I'm gonna try to keep it trimmed, but I've got room for, right, sort of a second round. This cleom's looking pretty good, but this is a gomphrena that volunteered in the front yard, and it will get huge and fill this space up. And then I put a little volunteer Verbena bonariensis in here, and I'm hoping that will get big, because soon all of these carrots, right, they're gonna poop out in the heat. And so I will pull those out, and we'll have some more room for this grass as it gets bigger. And then, oh, look at the Amidara. Oh, I love that so much. And it just reseeds. I never quite know where it's gonna show up in the garden. And I wish this was closer to the walkway so I could see it better, but oof, I love it. So anyway, I'll have something in this space. And then this is another great gomphrena here. This is not the same kind as this will be. And a really pretty fresh looking cleome here. The more shade they get, I think, in this heat, the better. Okay, here you can see what I have done. Here is I have this little volunteer cleome. I'm hoping that I will not step on it. I've stepped on it like 100 times. And I have another one under there to try to keep that safe. This was Salvia amonti. It got too dark for me to continue because I'm like, somebody said that they've gardened it at night, you know, with a flashlight, and that their spouse called them, you know, the vampire gardener. And I'm kind of there, y'all. I will garden until it's too dark to see. So I've complained, if you have watched before, you know I complain about Salvia Amonte because unlike its friend, Salvia Amistad right there, that purple, which is perfect and its leaves are perfect, this one very quickly has yellow leaves and they drop very easily. And now I've got something, I don't know what this is, y'all. This white stuff, and those are not bugs. It's just sort of white fluff. If I touch, if I touch it, it doesn't seem to be, something alive. I don't know quite what this is, and it's all over, and it was worse. So, and this has gotten big. So I've been complaining about this forever. So I'm cutting it down to the ground because of this, white stuff. I don't know. I am cutting it look, like as an inch and a half, and I'm going to clean out every little bit of debris that might have that white gunk on it. And I'm putting this not in my compost pile, but in the trash, which I hate doing. But and then, so this is a big empty space. I'm cutting it so small, I hope it comes back well. But the other thing I'm doing is digging some out and just getting rid of it. And so I will leave some here, and this will give me room. This rose is getting big this way. And then here's a rose that has never performed well. It might do better, and it's supposed to be a bush, and it keeps acting like a climber. But hopefully that'll fill some space in, and I'm gonna put some more of that giant gomphrena in here. This is weeds. This is a carrot. These are carrots that they're already sort of going over in the heat. So I'll put a big gomphrena probably in here. This is, oh gosh, what's this called? Oh, I can't think of what it's called now. Anyway, that's gonna get big. I've got it oh, pardon me. I've got it in this little obelisk to sort of hold it up. But it will get big and wide, and so it will fill this space in. So it's sort of okay that this is going to be a big empty spot. Hello, helper. Because it will provide some more space, and then I will get some bright pink back here that should last all summer long. And again, this is carrots, but you can see they don't even really have any big flowers anymore, and that'll be coming out very quickly, very soon. One of the things that's looking amazing, this is Salvia madrensis, and it's gotten huge, and it will bloom in the fall. And I've been pinching back the centers, and look, I've got a little bit. I'm gonna pinch the center back here to make this these will grow and make 2 stalks. And so hopefully that will be nice and bushy and not fall over. And here are the remains of the beautiful bloom of Excellence von Schubert rose, and it's gone over. But oh, there's a fresh one over there. I'll show you. It is an amazing, amazing plant. This is the Salvia madrensis that I put in a little metal support to see how it goes versus this one unsupported. And we'll see how that one, how they go. And if I would probably do better to support all of them next year. Here is an Excellence von Schubert that's still fresh. Look how beautiful. Isn't that amazing? And look at this one. So, so pretty. And I've got Salvia Amistad back here. And it was so fun, y'all. We had some visitors from England come, a couple of weeks ago. And of course I made them look at the garden, and they were like, oh, look at the Amistad. And they were like, theirs didn't get this big. But of course they're behind us, it's cooler. But I loved that, somebody from England was like, oh, we grow this. They knew exactly. And then, goodness, look at the electric blue. This is bog sage, Salvia uliginosa. And it's gotten too big, y'all. I mean, this is and this takes up almost as much as room as my Mini Cooper. It is enormous, and probably needs to be thinned out, but it's hard to pull something out when it looks that good. Isn't it wonderful? And again, like, it's smothering. This is why it needs to get corralled a little bit. Look at this huge penta. This is like a heritage penta. And look how wonderful. And it's probably 3 feet tall by now. And this ocean of fire spike needs to also get thinned out. It's too much. It will layer, right? If a piece sort of falls over, like a long piece, leans over and touches the ground, it will just root where it touches the ground. So, good grief. Okay, look, this is the best this has ever looked. This is salt marshmallow. Look how sweet, you guys. It's never looked this good. I thought it was dead. Look how wonderful. And it's finally gotten tall. Okay, so this is like year 3 maybe for this plant, and it's finally looking good. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And then I'm gonna climb past all this stuff. I've got my little sort of new babies back here. So this is over here. These big plants are Gulf Coast penstemon. So I grew a bunch from seed, and I did thin it out. If you watched my video, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I did thin it out. Sorry. Here's me, weeds everywhere. I thinned it out to 2. I had clumps of seedlings, so I thinned it out to 2 in each little. It's still too close together. Nevertheless, it's the most I could do. It's the most my heart would allow me to rip out. And then this is all little baby milkweed right in there. Hi, buddy. What a good boy you are. Now, I can't figure out, I've got these amazing crinums back here, right here, which are so lovely. See if I can get you closer to one. Look how beautiful. And that's probably 4 feet tall. This beautiful wax myrtle, looking pretty good. A very shady, this is all just volunteer. This is a mess where I have not weeded. And so here's a cleum that's getting a lot of shade. Looks better than the sunny ones. And then this is a bunch of Ammi. This is not Dar, this is just Ammi. I think it's called green mist or something. And it was just, a volunteer back here. And it is in the carrot family. You can see the close, the similarities. And here are the 4 o'clocks. I'm doing this for once in the morning. And so the 4 o'clocks are still closed. And I've got a puzzle here. This is an oak leaf hydrangea that bloomed really early, and that has already pooped out. And yet this huge part has not bloomed, and I don't know why. I have no explanation. The one in the front is blooming, I think. But this one has not. Look at that cute lizard. Hey, buddy. Let's see if we can get him. Big old lizard in there. Oh, thank you. You're not in my way, mister. Excuse me. You're such a good boy. This is a chili pekin, which is a native Texas plant. It has remained as scruffy as it can be. It likes a little shade, but look, I've got little peppers on it. And it's also called bird pepper, and birds will eat this. But it also means, they will sort of poop out the seeds, and then you have it everywhere. That has not happened to me, but that's why it got its name, bird pepper. And then, of course, my ivy geraniums. And then my scented geraniums look really pretty. They look really good. They've gotten kind of floppy, but they're so pretty. And then, oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, so this is more milkweed. You will notice that there is a theme today. I have grown a lot of milkweed, but I want to show you, where'd they all go? Oh, here. Look at the seed pods. How much fun is that? Aren't they huge? I'm so excited. Seed pods everywhere. So back here there are so many geraniums and begonias like that one. And then these are the caladiums. They made it through and have just popped up. They were protected when it got below freezing in the garage, but otherwise I really didn't protect those, which is unusual for them to have survived. And then look at this coleus is really pretty, and this little penta. This is a different variety. It's very small in a pot. And then I don't know why, look, I've got these ferns here, perfectly fine, dead. I don't know what happened to this fern. It does look like maybe it's got one leaf. I don't have a lot of hope. But this is gardening, y'all. I have no idea, right? Bought the same place, planted on the same day. They're 2 feet apart. I have no explanation. Here is this beautiful pipe vine. I have yet to see I've yet to see anybody eat any of it. But I do think there's a seed pod. It's not dry, but I want to show you because it's neato. Well, I had a couple of seed pods you can see have dried up. But I was thinking I had a green one I could show you. Oh, right there. Look how fun. And they have triangular seeds, which I think is really cool. I love their seeds. And then my American Beauty Berry has, it's already bloomed, and it's starting to set its berries, and they will be this fabulous sort of, how do I describe it? Magenta, and they're wonderful. Food for birds and for people who make jam, which is not me. Here's another one that looks, oh no, that one's all right. Look at this one, also scruffy. I don't know why, I don't know what's happening to my little wood ferns there. And look at this, y'all. Look at this begonia. Isn't that incredible? I am in love with this plant. It looks so pretty. I'm gonna come around. It looks so pretty from the front. Look at that. I mean, that's amazing. And this is from last year. I think I bought that in the fall. I don't remember, but it definitely made it through the winter. It was in the garage when it froze, but the rest of the time it was out, unless it was actually freezing. This was outside. And then this one, always a winner. This is an angel wing or dragon wing, just depends on who you are as to what you call it. But look how pretty. I love it. And then here I have a combo. Oh yay, it's blooming. This is more dragon wing I just rooted in here. And this one, I mean, it looks ridiculous. This little puff on the end, this has not been it's speckly, and it's just the goofiest, most finicky plant, but it's blooming, and look how pretty. So this is the first time I've noticed the flowers on it. Here's the other coleus. Lots of things blooming back here. I've got 4 o'clocks and Turk's cap and shrimp plant is sort of where the flowers are coming in. And look here. Oh, I've got a few little baby caladiums that made it through. And this did not, I guess maybe I did bring this in, but they're not nearly as fabulous, but they're making it. They're so happy. And then this is coral nymph salvia. Okay, when watering outside, you need to turn the lights on because that is a footprint. Mine, I almost fell down because I was watering and stepped in it. Vampire gardener. More ivy geraniums. Look how pretty that is. Look at the little dark pink in the middle. I love it. And this is another incredible begonia there. And here's Fred greeting everyone, and another geranium there. And all these beautiful ferns are the same as what I planted over there, and they're doing well. And I've still got, look, the wine cups still going, still going. I just think they're wonderful. And here, this is a do as I say, not as I do situation. Look at the inland sea oats. Look at the seed heads. Aren't they gorgeous? I need to cut every single one of them back before they drop their seeds and destroy my life, because I will be digging little baby ones out forever. I'm already pulling them out from last year. But what a stand. You can see why I don't want to cut them off. They're so magnificent, but they will dry inside. And hopefully, I haven't ever done that before, hopefully they will dry inside and be pretty in a vase and not just fall apart. I don't really know what will happen. Here's a pale, pale pink Cleome. And then this is what I love. These are just little zinnias, and I had zinnias in a pot that just sort of pooped out on me, and I let them all, the seed heads dry out. And then this winter, I just pulled them apart, but I also, in a fit of laziness, I had put them in a planter, so they were still in their little plastic pots that they came from the nursery in. And so I took them out of their pots and I just laid them all down in here and left them for a couple of months. And this is what I got. And so it's just so pretty. And then this is all my Minoan lace, which is like a teeny tiny bishop's weed, which I've got a couple of flowers left. There's a flower, whoops, right there. But I'm letting them go to seed, and I'll sprinkle these around. So they look pretty scruffy when going to seed, and they're sort of blocking the orange, the only orange in the garden. Look how gorgeous that is. That is Crocosmia, and it falls down every year. See how it's fallen down? And I did not support it, as I didn't remember. So it's all sort of laying down, but look how beautiful. And unfortunately, it does not do well as a cut flower, as far as I can tell, because I would love to cut all this off and put it in the house and have beautiful orange flowers in the house and not in the garden. And also it's fallen down, but it didn't seem to do well. Now here is the Texas Rock Rose. Look how pretty. I have a question for y'all. It has gone to seed. It reseeds. I'm pulling it out like weeds, because it's just, so many seeds. And so I don't know. I need your advice, because you can see it's not really blooming in a crazy way. Just a few flowers. Should I cut this back? I'm not really sure. I haven't grown it that many years, and so I would love advice. If anybody else is out there that grows this, I'd love for you to tell me, either leave it or give it a big chop, because it will be prettier. And then this is the thing that cracks me up. This is horse herb. Look at those teeny tiny yellow flowers, which I allow. They're not the color yellow I like, but because they're on the ground and I don't really see them. This is a weed, except I left it because I saw that Buchanan's Native Plants in Houston was selling it, and I'm like, oh, well, I have that. Here's the lance leaf coreopsis, which definitely needs deadheading. And then this is my volunteer plains coreopsis, which needs to be deadheaded, and also just volunteered. I did not plant this, and I picked that yellow, allowed. This yellow, not allowed, but it was so pretty, it was allowed. And this fleece flower, Persicaria. And then here I've got some insane things. This huge thing is false indigo, which has never bloomed in the history of ever for me. But growing in it is a native passion vine. It hasn't flowered. I planted this years ago, way over there. I thought it had died, and it showed up this year. And so I'm kind of letting it do what it wants. It will have a pale yellow flower if I can ever get it to flower. It's just wandering around back here. So, and here's some more. So I'm really happy to see a little wild one This is Texas kidneywood here. And then something's happening. I noticed this yesterday. This is my parsley hawthorn, but look at this. Just died, and a chunk of it there died, and I don't know. So, and then here's my weed patch that I just leave out of curiosity of what will come up here. And then I'm going to take you for 1 second. The air conditioner is running, but I'm going to take you for one hot second and show you. Oh no, I cut it back. The insanity that arrowwood viburnum. This is like a 7-foot fence, and it is a solid 18 inches taller than the fence. I had to cut a little way through here, but yeah, I didn't know it was going to get that big. I did not read the package directions. And look how gorgeous. Another winner. Oh, you guys, isn't that incredible? I just love it. I love that begonia. And then I had some plants. I've got a 10-minute video that I'm going to put up probably the same day as this one about potting soil and plants not thriving, and an encouragement. It's really a video about encouraging gardeners, and particularly new gardeners, that sometimes it's what you're working with. It's not you, right? So I've redone these pots, these two, and that's what it used to have in it. And so I've got 8 million baby milkweeds. I needed a place to put them. And then this plant I've forgotten the name of that was recommended to me. I planted the other two out there, and I'll plant this one. But my video really talks about, look at this potting soil, right? With huge pieces of wood in it and a bunch of sand in it, versus this, which is Happy Frog soil conditioner. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And so there's a whole video. Take a look. And then I've been working on burning the weeds. You can see the weeds in the walkway here are terrible. It looks okay that way, not so bad. But so I've got my little weed burner, and I'm working it. And then I'm loving the succulent theater. Things are looking so nice and pretty. And pretty soon it will get blazing hot in this gravel, and it'll all get moved up here, so it gets a half a day's sun, or half a day's shade. But it's really looking pretty. I love this jade plant and this crazy thing. Look at this. So I love succulents, so that's always so fun. Don't look at my ugly porch that's messy. Here's the other thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to talk about for a second, because I get a lot of questions. Okay, well, look how many more seedlings. Good grief. I wanted to show you, ask questions about fertilizing. I fertilize, hopefully, the flower pots every Friday. And I use kind of what's on sale. One of the things I use, this is just soluble fertilizer. I use the Has to Grow from Medina, and that's just the 6-12-6 is sort of the general, this is good for any plant. And then here's a different one I use, again, if it's on sale, Microlife. And it's got different numbers. Like, I just buy whatever. This one says maximum blooms. Sometimes I have bought some that was really for foliage, to help foliage get bigger, sort of early spring. And then here's another thing I put. This is just like instant compost, Microlife humates. And I just put that, I'll put, a quarter of a cup, half a cup in the bottom of a hole if I'm planting a new plant. I will also put this if I'm reusing older potting soil, and I want to sort of beef up the potting soil, I will put that in and mix it with the old potting soil. And here's what I really talk about on my little video is Happy Frog soil conditioner. This is what I use as potting soil now. I did an experiment a while back to see with identical seedlings I used like a Miracle Grow potting soil. I used my neighborhood nursery special mix potting soil, and I used the third pot is straight Happy Frog. And the difference was so shocking. The Happy Frog ones, seedlings did so much better that I literally dug the other ones up after 10 days and put them all in Happy Frog. So it's wildly expensive, but that's what I use for potting soil. I really wouldn't use anything else at this point. It makes such a difference. Here's one of my little pots with some more. These just volunteered from last year. And Mrs. B. Arcant is not really blooming right now, but I've got one, which is nice. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. And then, before I'm done, the last thing I'm going to show you is I had a passion vine here from previous years that got a virus on it. That then I put a new one here. It had a virus. It spread to my old one, so I had to pull everything out. This one came up further down and was not affected. So these are two different kinds. This is the one I had before, and this is the new one. And they were crazy, y'all. If you're in the Houston area, I looked at every pipe vine, these are passion flower vines. I looked at every passion flower vine at Buchanan's Native Plants. This was a month ago probably. And they had, 1/10 the amount of leaves, but also every single one had the virus. And I went to Enchanted Forest in Richmond, Texas, which is a hike for me, 35 miles. And they had these gorgeous, enormous, they had flower pods, flower buds all over them. They were enormous. And none of them had this virus, which apparently is very common. And the plant will still grow, it'll just look bad. And so apparently nursery growers, so I'm not blaming Buchanan's exactly, but the growers that they're getting things from, a lot of times they will propagate by cuttings. And so they're taking a cutting of a plant that's already infected. And so everything they're selling to Buchanan's is infected. And so that's no good. So I'm just showing you one last peek. Thank y'all so much for watching and for all your encouragement and your advice and your very kind comments. I'm very behind on answering comments from last week, so please bear with me. I will write you back. Here's another little clump of Dara back there. Look how pretty. I hope y'all are having fun out in your garden. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.